2020. You son of a gun! Never has there been a time where we have needed a distraction by magical Marvel movies than this year. On a more positive note, however, it seems that super hunk Chris Hemsworth will not be giving up Mjolnir or Stormbreaker or both after Thor: Love and Thunder anytime soon. Warning, there may be spoilers, so you might want to stick your fingers in your ears and go la 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 now. We have already said goodbye to many fan favorites in the MCU, such as Captain America, Iron Man, and of course Thanos, which none of us saw coming. So can we really handle losing another? Speaking with Polish magazine L-Man, Chris stated that he wants to continue playing the God of Thunder after Thor: Love and Thunder. In the interview, Chris was asked if he was hanging up his hammer, since in the comics, Jane Foster takes over the role. Chris took the opportunity to joke that Thor is at least 1,500 years old, and so he is too young to retire anyways, as well as state that he hopes he is not saying goodbye to the MCU after Thor 4. We feel the same, Chris. Directed by New Zealander Taika Waititi, who also filmed Thor: Ragnarok and Thor: Love and Thunder, will bring back Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, who takes on the mantle of Thor, similar to the way she does in the comics. Waititi also gives us a little insight into the Thor sequel, telling us that the movie was very romantic, which really helps us eager fans out a lot. Thanks, pal. So, how does Jane become the god? Or should we really say Goddess of Thunder? In Thor Volume 4, Number 1, the original Thor loses the ability to wield the hammer, aka becomes unworthy. This was due to Nick Fury whispering something into Thor's ear, which immediately made him unable to wield his mystical Mjolnir. The hammer was then stuck on the moon of all places, and nobody could move the friggin' thing. At the end of the comic book issue, an unidentified female character landed on the moon and successfully lifted the hammer, with the weapon's inscription changing to, "Whosoever hold this hammer, if she be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor." We later learned that it was Jane who became Thor, since the hammer telepathically sought out Jane as the next hero to be potentially worthy. Jane asked Heimdall to take her to the moon, and she picked up Mjolnir, which immediately transformed her into Thor. We are not 100% sure how close the movie will follow this storyline, especially since Heimdall is, dead. What we do know, though, is that Christian Bale is set to play a villain, and he's pretty much good in everything. Many fans theorize that Bale will play Gorr, the God Butcher. Gorr was born on a struggling planet, where every day many of his kind were on the brink of starvation each day. Gorr came to the realization that there were no gods after his pregnant wife died and traveled through the desert in extreme despair. A god comes along to help Gorr, which Gorr proceeds to kill in anger and thus decides to go on a rampage killing gods, eventually leading him to Thor. There is also speculation about whether we will see Fat Thor in Thor 4, or the movie time jumps into the future and Thor is a shredded hunk again. It's likely the latter, since it would be hard to believe Jane falling in love with an overweight Thor. Sorry. Which Marvel movie do you think Chris will star in after Thor: Love and Thunder? Do you think Thor will lose his powers and become a normal person? Will Jane make a great Thor? Please let us know in the comments, and don't forget to give us a like, because you are awesome.